These are all believed to be real-life events to the mediated masses. But my contention is this is the state church. The enigmatic death of Nipsey Hussle and the events surrounding it give away a lot about this big program. There's a framework within which these scripted events are occurring, and it has to do with the sun, the seasons, and what the sun gods are said to be doing at each stage of the year, from solstice to solstice, equinox to equinox. So let's start with this. The marathon begins. The marathon was released on the 2010 winter solstice. This is the traditional birth date for the sun god and his starting point. The marathon mixtape, made by American rapper Nipsey Hussle, was released on December 21st, 2010 for a free legal download on iTunes. And there you have it, winter solstice 2010. It was also a lunar eclipse that day. But this is the traditional birth date for the sun god, and so this is when the marathon begins. The marathon store opened on summer solstice of 2017. So here you have Nipsey Hussle opening the marathon store, grand opening in Los Angeles, California, off Slauson and Crenshaw, cutting the red ribbon, and this is taking place on the summer solstice. His death was on the astronomical Easter. March 31st, 2019 was the astronomical, not the ecclesiastical. So the people in the religion celebrate it on a certain day, but in terms of the actual position of the sun and its relation to the last full moon, it was the day he died. That was Easter, which of course is a celebration or commemoration of the death of Christ. And we will get into those details, but the next part, the next phase in this was his posthumous humanitarian award was awarded on summer solstice of 2019. So this was last summer solstice. He's given this post-mortem award, and this would represent his apotheosis. Move forward, the announcement of a planned Nipsey Hussle Memorial Tower was made in August, his birth month. That month, a gate was erected at the marathon, signifying Lion's Gate. So Lion's Gate is another celestial phenomenon. It's a cosmic alignment every year in August when the sun is in Leo, marked by the star Sirius and its relationship to Earth while aligning in Orion's belt, which perfectly syncs up with the pyramids in Giza. And of course, those who are observing the scene, you've noticed that the marathon has the pyramids on the roof. None of this is accidental. And of course, I'm giving you the big picture in chronological order so you can see that this is following the solar calendar. The marathon clothing. As a notice to the public, we're putting up a gate on Thursday, August 1st, 2019, to enclose the plaza. So during the Lion's Gate phenomenon, they have a gate going up at this location, and they announce the forthcoming Nipsey Hussle Tower to commemorate and honor the life and legacy of Nipsey. And we'll get into the meaning of that tower here shortly. Next, you have The Marathon Don't Stop, a biography of Nipsey Hussle to be released on the astronomical Easter, which falls on March 24th, 2020. So this was again just announced, a biography on him, which will again be on an important date relating to this solar religion. So these are occult rituals in public. What I'm describing here is an occult or a hidden ritual performed in full view of the public over a period of time. This happens to be a timeless script played out according to the solar calendar and its festivals at the major quadrants of the year. The marathon story and the story about Nipsey Hussle is a scripted storyline based upon a modern Christ figure or sun personification. The story describes the journey of the sun from birth to death to rebirth as it cycles above, and this represents life cycles from winter solstice, where it's born, to its annual death. So the marathon, in this context, in the metascript, is a metaphor for the sun's never-ending journey. So Nipsey Hussle exits the world stage March 31st, 2019, when he's murdered. This is Easter, and he's 33 years old. So here's where you get the first initial archetype of Christ, who died at 33 on that date. Upon examining his death, there are several things connecting him to the story of Christ. Initial descriptions of him, and remember, this is storytelling. Initial descriptions of him by witnesses on the scene, and we're talking about paid witnesses, crisis actors. They painted a very specific picture, and this led people to speculate on who did it and why. So here were a few early characterizations. One, he was assassinated, as it was the LAPD he was going to meet with right before the shooting, and he was going to discuss ways to bring peace between the Bloods and the Crips. So here you have Nipsey being presented as a bringer of peace. In a tweet 90 minutes before he was gunned down, he sent the message, quote, "Having strong enemies is a blessing." Again, this is a statement made right before he died. These are all symbolic, these are all scripted, and it's meant to paint a certain picture. Love thy enemies type statement here. It was speculated that his upcoming documentary about Dr. Sebi would have made him a target for assassination. Sebi is alleged to have cured blindness, AIDS, leprosy, and other ailments, which make him a hero and a healer. So he's a hero to those who are not being given real cures by Big Pharma, cures that are being suppressed. So to be a healer outside of Big Pharma is a very Christ-like attribute to add to the picture here. Peacebringer, healer. He was characterized as Jesus Christ in the flesh by his closest friends in statements made immediately after his death. The iconography of the pre-shooting GQ photo shoot is loaded with symbolism alluding to his upcoming role as a sacrificial Sun King. The death was reported by TMZ and had all the trappings of a staged, simulated death, along with the enigmatic occult overtones. TMZ sounded out phonetically similar to Tammuz, the Babylonian sun god, also born on the winter solstice. That detail figures into the story prominently. Tammuz the shepherd. This is the proto-Christ, sun god personification. This is more than just a reference that comes up again and again. It's a Babylonian reference worth noting here. The immediate characterization of the rapper painted him up as a Christ-like character, including his childhood friend and fellow rapper Daylight, who said that Nipsey was literally Jesus Christ, that he was Jesus Christ reincarnated. Snoop Dogg said Nipsey had the same impact Jesus had. Jermaine Dupri said, "I believe Nip was Jesus." So according to the reports, he was about to meet the chief of police of Los Angeles to discuss bringing peace between the Crips and the Bloods. And rumors, of course, circulated that this was done to stop him from publicizing the works of Dr. Sebi, doing a documentary, which would then bring about the curing of AIDS and leprosy, blindness. Sound familiar? Curing the blind? Lepers? Before he died, these photo shoots and his latest videos often showed him in purple. Arms outstretched, as you see here, foreshadowing a Christ-like death. You can see the cross behind him in these pictures. He grew out the beard, which wasn't really his signature look. He was described by witnesses, quote, as a god. They said he was a god, not a regular person, but a god. And if you look at the iconography, he was presented in very Christ-like ways, handing out things to the poor, like Jesus multiplying the loaves. He was a benefactor to the poor. As an entrepreneur, you see him in videos helping, opening community centers, handing out clothes, weed, everything else. So he's characterized as a Christ passing out the loaves, multiplying the fish, curing leprosy, curing the blind, bringing peace, all very Christ-like, dying at 33,